Well, it is our weekly Wolves update. I'm Nathan Judah. I'm here with Wolves reporter extraordinaire, Mr. Joe Edwards. Joe, how's it going from a lockdown situation at Shea Edwards?
Not too bad, actually. In better spirits this week.
Good. I like to hear that.
Yeah, I've started a bit of a diet. Trying to lose a few pounds. The missus has gave my hair a bit of a trim, so feeling good, feeling sharp.
Yeah, my hair's literally just gone to a comb over now, mate. It's just there's so much weight in it. But I'm going to hold out. I'm going to wait till it's safe to do so. Probably have to wait another 4 or 5 weeks. There could be some hats that might have to be worn in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think. But it's just about passable at this moment in time. So that's good. I tell you what else is just about passable, Joe, and that is contact in Premier League training. I understand the green light has been given the go-ahead to start, I guess, normal football again. Is that true?
It's quite a significant step, this is, to be honest, yeah. All 20 clubs voted unanimously for contact training to return. So this is welcome news because Wolves have previously, of course, been training in small groups of up to 5, and that was seen as a fairly big boost, but no contact. So you were doing shooting drills, passing drills, whatever, but nothing that kind of really replicated a game situation. But now that is able to take place. There's been discussions with the LMA, the PFA, the government, managers, players. Everybody's given this the green light, and it's a united front to get the season back going. So there's no date, as we know, still for the Premier League's return. But this is a significant step. This is probably the most significant development so far, in that players at their training grounds, Wolves at Compton, can do something that at least replicates a game of football.
Yeah, we said off camera as well that this is not just small groups. This is what we understand, at least towards the end of the week, is going to be 11 versus 11. It's more of a training game scenario that's going to be allowed. And look, full contact, but no contact when you can avoid it. And I think that from a normal training regime, Monday to Friday, if they've got a game on the Saturday, you're probably going to have 1 or 2 sessions where you're all in. But the rest of them are probably going to be similar to what you are allowed to do now.
Yeah, and there's talk about avoiding contact where necessary. I think that's the wording that the Premier League have used. Now, no allusion to small groups. So as you say, 11v11 by the end of the week or early next seems plausible. And the thing is, limited contact. You'd like to think teams take that approach, I guess, in training anyway. They're not going to go in with 2-footy challenges or stray elbows or stuff like that. Well, at least you'd hope so anyway. I know
spitting in your face.
Yeah, so Wolves are a competitive bunch, but at the same time they're a smart bunch, so that they'd be looking out for each other anyway. But
of course,
this is. Yeah, as we say, the most significant development so far, really. And there's, of course, the German league has been back underway for a couple of weeks now. Been watching some of those games, and they've been a good watch.
You said that you were quite impressed with the game.
Been really enjoyable, of course. Football with fans is better, but there's a pretty low bar. It's either now football or football without fans, and I'd pick football without fans all day long. And it seems the Premier League is very much closer to getting to that now.
Mm-hmm. But they will still be adhering to social distancing measures. There won't be any more relaxation at the moment, as in going into Compton, eating together. They're still going to be travelling to training in their training gear. They're still going to be washing their own kit. Is that right?
Yeah. So like the clubhouse has pretty much been out of bounds unless you're desperate for a wee. There's
always a couple of bushes kicking around, mate. Come on.
So there's that's you're not eating together, you're not travelling together. Obviously, taking your kit home to wash it, stuff like that. It's that
and tests are still happening as well,
twice a week. So Wolves were tested again yesterday, on Tuesday. So they should be getting the results of that later on today. I'd expect the Premier League to be publishing the results either tonight or in the morning. So still tested twice a week, still following all those kind of protocols, temperature checks when you arrive at the training ground, but contact allowed, so that's a pretty big development.
Yeah, things are happening quicker now, aren't they? We were waiting weeks and weeks for just a little bit of information or a little bit of a ray of light, and now it seems, every 2 or 3 or 4 days there seems to be another development and advancement happening. So things are looking good at this moment in time. Like you say, we haven't got a guaranteed date yet, but things are looking good that we are going to see some football this summer.
Yeah, at this rate, I'd be very, very surprised. In fact, shocked if the Premier League didn't get back going. I've said it before. Getting it restarted and finished is a separate matter, but I'd be very surprised if they don't at least give it a go now.
So just going on to one of your stories this morning, Joe. You've been asking a lot of questions about Steve Bull and the situation. People asking maybe whether it's worth knocking down now when they haven't got any fans in there, whether they're going to wait for a year or two. But you understand that it's going to be redeveloped rather than knocked down. And have you got a date on that, or what can and can't take place?
So it's worth clarifying, we're not knocking down the club legend that is Steve Bull. No, the Steve Bull stand at Molineux, of course. Been a lot of questions about that, saying, well, there's now fans at Molineux for the foreseeable future. Why can't Wolves knock down and then redevelop the Steve Bull? As it, there wouldn't be any fans missing out on games. The thing is, Wolves want to, as we understand, build on the existing stands at Molineux rather than knocking them down and restarting them completely. Monetary reasons is a big factor behind this, because if you knock down the Steve Bull and then we're going to rebuild it from the ground up, it wouldn't be likely to see a return on that investment until decades down the line, perhaps even 20 to 30 years. So the intention, as we understand it, is to upgrade what they have, extend the seating, possibly build backwards. I mean, we've seen other clubs, do that kind of similar thing over the past few years, and then improve the hospitality offering, I think, which is a key factor really for Wolves. I mean, you've got a real kind of good row of hospitality in the existing Billy Wright standard. I think they'd like to kind of take that and put it in the Steve Bull and really kind of freshen that hospitality offering up and make it a more kind of accessible stand for both fans and then people looking for that more premium service as well.
Well, and you're right in saying, I think the most important and there'll be 15,000 fans that will be watching this video saying, I don't give a crap about hospitality, but I don't want to have to queue an hour and a half to get into the bloody stand. And that's going to be, whether they're revamping it or not, and I'm sure Wolves will make it great. But they've got to sort out getting into the stadium and getting into the ground. That's got to be a priority, doesn't it, with any kind of redevelopment of that stand?
Oh yeah, the club will know that the problems that exist with the Steve Bull stand. We often hear about the turnstiles, the queues that can exist on match days, and Wolves will be aware of that. That's and they will be looking at ways to, of course, improve the facilities. Of course, the concourses are quite tight in the Steve Bull. There's a lack of toilets and stuff like that. It may seem small things to some people, but when you're sitting in there every week and you've got a season ticket there, of course these are things that build up. So. Rest assured, Wolves will be looking into that, and just because they're not knocking down and rebuilding the whole stand, it doesn't mean that those facilities can't be improved. That they'll be looking at it with of course top industry experts. You'd imagine, this is a Premier League club going places. They're not going to just have anybody looking at this stadium work. So I don't think there's any need to really worry on that front. Yes, there's going to be scepticism, and that's fine, but. If I take my kind of journalistic hat off for a second and put my fan hat on, I'd be quite pleased about this, because the danger of course, some of the artist impressions we've seen in the past, you're knocking down and rebuilding, the stadium becomes kind of like a bowl setup. I don't know how good that is really for the long term. So. I'd like to see Molineux retain its character, and fingers crossed that can happen.
Joe, thank you very much. We'll be hearing from you next week. And wow!
Yeah, the cat has just made an appearance.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow, that is superb.
He's literally right to the side of me.
Get off the screen. You've been rabbiting on for 9.5 minutes. I mean, I don't need to do anything else. That is the sign off there. Absolutely superb.
There we go.
Cheers, Joe. Thank you very much.
See ya. Bye.